The end of the 19th century, Kharkiv is changing rapidly. Slobozhenщина is experiencing a period of economic growth. Industrial and agricultural production is developing, the domestic market is expanding, and financial institutions are being formed. In 1893, after several years of preparation, the Kharkiv Practical Commercial School begins its work. The first step towards systematic economic education in the city has been taken. And at the same time, the long history of economic education in Kharkiv begins. (1930) was the starting point of a new stage. In Kharkiv, on the basis of several educational institutions, the Engineering and Economic Institute was created. Its basis was the idea of a new specialist who combines economic analytics with technical thinking. A unique model of education is being formed, which combines technical disciplines, economic theory, and knowledge of management systems. In the same years, a decision was made to build a separate building for the institute. The completion of construction, as well as restoration work after the war, fell on the beginning of the 50s. The end of the 1980s is a time of change, not only in the country, but also in the institute. Education is increasingly focused on integration into the world's scientific and educational space. In 1994, an official transformation took place. The Engineering and Economic Institute became the Kharkiv State University of Economics. The university was recognized by the fourth level of accreditation, which confirmed its high achievements and provided an opportunity to independently form educational policy, develop scientific activities, and expand international ties. At the initiative of the rector Vladimir Stepanovich Ponomarenko, the university began large-scale work to update the material base. They are equipping classrooms, repairing dormitories, and building new buildings. In a record 8 months, a modern educational and laboratory building was put into operation. In 2004, by the decree of the President of Ukraine, the university was granted national status for its significant contribution to the development of economic education, science, and training. In 2005, a modern scientific library building was opened, a new type of space with computerized workplaces, an electronic catalog, comfortable reading rooms, and a book depository for almost 500,000 volumes. It became the university's calling card and one of the centers of intellectual life. In 2013, the university was named after Simon Kuznets, a world-famous economist, Nobel Prize laureate who studied in Kharkiv. Simon Kuznets University of Economics was one of the first to start implementing the principles of the Bologna process in Ukraine. A new system of higher education was formed based on a competency-based approach, critical thinking, practical training, and academic integrity. The principle of student-centeredness was introduced. The university is building a partnership network with enterprises, state and municipal administration bodies, and the public sector. Representatives of companies and institutions are involved in the educational process. They share practical experience, implement mentoring programs, conduct master classes and trainings, and inspire students. In 2011 to 2015, a new 7-story educational building with multimedia lecture halls was built. Since the year 2000, the total area of the university has doubled, its own sports facilities have appeared, and the number of dormitories has increased to 7. On February 24, 2022, the university, like the entire country, entered a period of trials and struggles. Despite the threat, the university preserved the integrity of its community. Already on March 21st, 2022, the educational process was fully restored in an online format. Despite the challenges, the university remained not only educational, but also an important center of public solidarity. In the most difficult times, it became a social hub, a center of support for students, teachers, city residents, and displaced persons. The war was an impetus for rethinking the role of the university as an intellectual and public center, as a space for mutual support, leadership development, and responsibility. In conditions of loss and change, the university preserved the main thing: humanity, resilience, and faith in the future. Simon Kuznets Kharkiv National University of Economics is consistently developing its international strategy. As of 2025, 122 international agreements have been concluded. 27 grant projects are in the process of being implemented. There are dual degree programs with France, Austria, Poland, Italy, Spain, and Great Britain. The most successful were the Franco-Ukrainian program in information systems and the Austrian program in business administration. The MBA program with Abertay University has international accreditation and provides students and teachers with access to libraries in a global educational environment. The university actively develops scientific activities. There is a Fab Lab, a digital prototyping laboratory, a STEAM laboratory, and a training laboratory, Cyber Polygon. The university holds international conferences, forums, summer schools, and actively develops scientific cooperation with world universities. Simon Kuznets Kharkiv National University of Economics confidently occupies a leading position among economic universities in Ukraine. 35 bachelor's and 32 master's programs are being prepared. 160 postgraduate students are studying in 12 PhD programs, of which 30 are foreign, and 61 Doctor of Philosophy theses have been defended. In conditions of full-scale war, the educational process is organized taking into account the security situation. The university ensures continuity of education, psychological support, availability of digital resources, and flexible formats. A classroom fund for 800 people in a shelter has been equipped. The university adheres to a policy of openness to the student population of Kharkiv and the region, aimed at familiarizing them with the academic environment, scientific approaches, and modern educational practices. This is the university's strategic line, which forms a connection with future generations long before admission. Students not only study, but also proactively change the university environment. They launch initiatives, conduct research, create projects that resonate with the challenges of today. Even in difficult conditions, the implementation of student and social initiatives aimed at assisting the armed forces of Ukraine, supporting internally displaced persons, civic activism, and charitable and cultural events continues. Education at the university is inseparable from culture. Together, they form a holistic concept of a humanitarian worldview. This is the life philosophy of the rector Volodymyr Ponomarenko, who sees art as a source of humanistic values. The university has become a space where education and creativity interact. The art gallery, classical music, exhibitions of artists of the Kharkiv region, creative meetings with artists not only enrich the cultural environment, but also form in students the ability to deeply perceive the world, which is key in the training of a new generation of specialists. Simon Kuznets Kharkiv National University of Economics remains faithful to humanistic and academic values, continues to introduce innovations, develop international cooperation, and strengthen its position as a modern educational, research, and responsible public center. Preserving traditions and opening new horizons, the university confidently moves into the future.